Before we explain what Azure Policy is, let's talk about the problems we would like to solve. First, with access to the cloud, development teams can provision their own resources without going through the IT teams. The IT teams need to provide some oversight and make sure that cloud resources are provisioned according to the standards established in the company. On the other side, developers like to provision powerful machines even for testing purposes. They also forget to turn off resources when those are not needed. The cost of those resources may not be justified, and it may impact the company's bottom line. Also, every enterprise needs to follow some regulatory or compliance guidelines specific to the industry the enterprise works in. Hence, enterprises need to provide compliance reporting to auditors and government bodies. In order to enforce those standards and compliance requirements, IT teams develop documentation that describes the policies and procedures to be used for provisioning, configuration, and management of cloud resources. However, using documentation is error-prone and does not have enforcement function. This is why enterprises have regular IT audits to ensure policies are followed. Azure Policy simplifies the processes of standardization, cost management, and compliance, and allows IT teams to provide better governance in the cloud and simplify the audit process. Azure Policy is a service in Azure that allows you to create, assign, and manage policies. Those policies enforce certain rules and effects over your Azure resources. One example of such a rule is to always use a B-size virtual machines for development purposes to reduce the cost. Another rule can be to always use Azure Active Directory authentication for SQL databases in order to track data access. Third rule can be to always tag Azure Function apps with specific tags to enhance reporting. Using Azure policies, you can ensure that your cloud resources stay compliant with the company or regulatory standards you have established for your enterprise. We will go into more details into policy assignment later on in this module, but it is worth mentioning that Azure Policy can be assigned on different levels in Azure. You can assign Azure Policy at management group level, allowing you to have rules that span multiple subscriptions. You can also assign it at Azure subscription level, allowing you to have rules specific to a single subscription. At resource group level, to have rules for the resources in a specific resource group or an individual resource level. In the next video, we will look at the policy definitions as well as how to assign and parameterize policies.